Welcome to Early Round Tutorials. Today, I'll show you how to create the Light-saber effect in Blender 2.8. First, you're going to open up Blender. And then you click anywhere on the screen to get rid of the splash menu. And click on the Compositing tab. Check Use Nodes. Once you've done that, we're going to delete render layers by clicking on it and clicking X on our keyboard. That'll delete it. You can drag the nodes around by left-clicking and dragging where you want it. Now, you're going to click Shift-A, go to Input and Image. This will allow you to import an image sequence. Now you're going to go to Shift, click A. You're going to move down to Output, move over to Viewer, create a viewer node. Drag where you want it, and left click to confirm. Then you left click and hold down where it says Image, drag it to the viewer node where it says Image. Next, you can go to Open on the image, go to where you saved your image sequence, you can left click and drag over all the images. Scroll down, click and hold on Shift while you drag to continue selecting. Let go of Shift and use the middle mouse wheel to scroll. Continue this until you have selected all your images. Once you have selected all the images in your sequence, select Open Image. To see the image sequence, you enable Backdrop. To zoom it out, you're going to click on V on your keyboard. To zoom in, you're going to hold on Alt and click V. Now, to start on the Light-saber effect, next, you're going to use the playback menu to choose where you want your Light-saber effect to start. I want my lightsaber to start coming out right here. Next, you're going to go to the Rendering tab, click on the Browse Image to be linked, and select Viewer Node. Now, click where it says View on the top left, and change it to Mask. Once you've done that, click on New to create a new mask. You can name the mask if you want by clicking on it, typing the name. Once you create a new mask layer, you can zoom in by using the middle mouse wheel and clicking the middle mouse wheel to move around. And you're going to choose where you want to start, hold down on Control, and click with the left mouse button to create where you want the mask, where you want the lightsaber to start. When you want to close it, you can go to Alt and C on your keyboard. Once you create the beginning of your mask, you're going to click on the automatic keyframe button so that the mask will change for each frame. You can use the arrow keys to switch frames. You can use the right arrow key to change. You can click AA on your keyboard to select all, and G to grab it. Move it to where you want, and then manipulate the handlebars to make your lightsaber longer. Now, you're going to continue this process and slowly ignite your lightsaber. This will become a very slow and tedious process as you go by frame to make your lightsaber longer. In some cases, it can be quicker to use a built-in animation to mask all the frames. This can only be used when the video doesn't move too much. So here we have it started, and then it all stays basically in the same spot for a large majority of the frames. So if you go to a couple frames, you can drag it to where you want it to end and manipulate the mask. That way, when you go through, it'll put in all the frames, and you can just go through and edit them. In your video, while you're igniting the lightsaber, you will only have the handle portion of your prop. But when you get to that part of the video where you have the real prop, you're going to put the mask over where the lightsaber section of the prop. And you'll continue doing this throughout the whole of the video. The lightsaber moves at a fairly fast pace. It either creates a blur, or you just feel like you should add one. You can create a blur by moving the mask at a certain angle. I'm going to make this side wider to create a blur effect. This way, you'll be able to have the lightsaber blur. Once you've gone through the whole video, you're going to look down here at this number, which is the current frame. Mine says 300. You go to the end frame and set it as 300. Then you're going to go back to the compositing tab. Once on the compositing tab, you're going to click Shift A to go to the Add menu. Go down to Input, select Mask. Drag it below the image sequence, and left click to confirm. Then you're going to click here to choose a mask. We're going to pick the mask we just created. Next, you can click Shift A, go to Color, Alpha Over. Going to left click to confirm. Connect the mask to the factor. I'm going to click on the alpha over. Click on Shift D on the keyboard to duplicate it. Put it in between the image sequence and the viewer node. And left click to confirm. Then you can go to alpha over node that's connected to the mask. Drag the output image to the input image on the alpha over node. Now, on the alpha over node, we'll click Image. Bring the color all the way down to black, and the alpha down to 0. Once you've done that, you're going to click on the image, the bottom image, and change it to whatever color you want your lightsaber to be. We're going to do green. Now we're going to create the blur. Click Shift A to add. We're going to go to Filter and Blur. Now we're going to connect the blur node between the two alpha overnodes and change the X blur to 5 and enter, and the Y blur to 5 and enter. Now we're going to click Shift A to add, go to color, and click Shift A to add, go up to color, in hue saturation value, and you're going to left click to confirm in between the blur and alpha overnode. Now you're going to drag the saturation all the way down to 0. That has created the core of our lightsaber. Now you can click on the blur, click Shift D to duplicate, and place it right above it. Now we're going to connect the alpha overnode for the color of our lightsaber into the input blur node for the image. Now you're going to change the X to something a lot higher, like 25, and enter. And the Y to 25 as well. Now we click Shift A to add, go to color, hue saturation value, and put it next to the blur node. Connect the output image from the blur node to the input image of hue saturation value, and drag the value all the way up. Now you're going to click on this alpha overnode, Shift D to duplicate it, and put it in between the hue saturation value node and the alpha over. Now take the hue saturation value node and plug it into the top image, not the bottom. And then you've created your lightsaber. Now if you want to change any of this, you can modify the blur nodes by changing how much blur is. This is going to create it, make the glow a lot wider. While this in here is going to change the size of the white. I'm going to lower this back down to 3. Once you're finished, make sure you connect the alpha overnode to the composite node on the image. And then you finish the lightsaber. All you have to do is render it so we can export it as a video. To do that, make sure you have all the settings correct. You go to Output Properties, left click it, select on the destination, pick where you want it to be saved, name it, and click Accept. Choose the correct frame rate. I'll put mine to 25. Go to File Format, and instead of PNG, which will export it as an image sequence, select FF MPEG Video. Go down to Encoding, click on the container, and we're going to change it to MPEG-4. And if you have audio, which you shouldn't from having an image sequence, you can change it to an MP3. We're going to leave that as no audio. And you'll go over to Render, the top left click it, and click Render Animation. You should see each of the individual pictures. Once the video is finished rendering, you can X out of the render, and it'll be wherever you saved it. You can view the video, see the final result. That is how to create the lightsaber effect in Blender 2.0.